Worcester Cathedral was originally built in the late 7th century and began as a monastery. Over the many centuries, it has stood as a beacon of worship and political history for over 1,000 years. In its long history, Worcester Cathedral has played host to many a spine-chilling ghost story, one being a spectral black bear said to writhe up on its hind legs, only to disappear when it's about to deal a fatal blow. Another is that in the year 1219, wicked King John was buried between his favorite saints, Saint Wulstan and Saint Oswald, allegedly dressed in a monk's garb to trick his way into heaven. His soul was punished for his wickedness and later condemned to roam the cathedral ever after. Reports state that a spectral monk in black can be seen walking by the tomb where King John is buried, and also seen deep within the crypt. The monk is said to be pacing frantically as if he were panicking or angry, only to disappear when approached. Used as a headquarters during the Battle of Worcester, 1651, the commandery is home to many ghosts. One in particular is the ghost of the Duke of Hamilton, that fell and was buried under the floorboards until he could be buried elsewhere. On occasions, visitors have reported smelling rotten flesh and glasses at the bar moving on their own accord. In other instances, people have heard a strange sound in the night, the sounds of ancient battles and a cavalier soldier looking out the top front window and the road below. Many a person has walked past Worcester's Guildhall only to gaze on its Georgian beauty. Dating as far back as the 13th century, the Guildhall has been a place of justice, imprisonment, and execution. Deep within the bowels of the former courthouse lies the cells. Here it is reported by the public and staff that a child's cry can be heard, and the screams of a woman wrongly accused of murder. Moving on to Ragged Stone Hill in the sleepy town of Malvern. This particular location houses not just a lost soul or sorrowful spirit, but that of a dark and dangerous curse. So where to begin? Many a winter's moon ago, when Malvern was just a small medieval parish, a monk named Brother John of Malvern Abbey had broke his sacred vow of chastity, falling in love with a young woman from the village. Furious as well as disappointed, the abbot of the abbey gave the lustful monk penance for his sins, to crawl up the rough face of Ragged Stone Hill like a beast. And doing so, Brother John began his ordeal. Once he reached the top, he leapt to his feet and bellowed an almighty curse. Whomsoever passed this blasted hill's shadow may himself meet thy end. And thus after, Brother John jumped to his death, knowing he may never see his lover again. But centuries on, hill climbers claim to see the Ragged Stone monk crawling up the hill where he died. It is also to popular belief that people such as Anne Boleyn and Richard III met their fates from passing through the hill's cursed shadow. Now we've all been told that graveyards are not haunted, but this graveyard begs to differ. Malvern Priory's graveyard holds many an ancient grave. Those marked go as far back as the mid-1700s, but some speculate there are graves that date back further. One grave in particular is that of the late Annie Darwin, the daughter of the famous evolutionist Charles Darwin. Dying of tuberculosis aged only 12, she is said to walk the graveyard holding the hand of her father before disappearing at the cemetery gates. Another small tale is of a young man with blonde hair and Georgian attire seen hiding behind the old pine trees. Is he afraid of the living? I'll leave you to decide. Drakelow Tunnels in Kidderminster was once a military factory making vehicles and weaponry during World War II. However, as the war moved forward, it became an operations center for the Allies. During its construction, a tunnel collapsed, killing 3 men. One of these 3 men would later be rumored to haunt the tunnels he once dug. Under the name of Ben, ghost hunters and staff have claimed to hear footsteps following them and a phantom whistle echoing down the corridors. Another is the eerie sound of 1940s music playing over the 80-year-old tannoys. When people investigate where the sounds originate from, there is nothing, no power, no working tannoys, no music. Is this the ghosts of a bygone era or just hearsay? You decide.